Well, the first part, we'll say, of Week 10 action for the NFL is finally done, and now we can touch on and give you a little bit of a recap. So, this is kind of a wild week, and I think that, that's just every week in the NFL, but let's jump into it. Like, what is going on? What has happened this last week?
And no more messing around here. So, first off, we're going to go back to the Thursday night game here, against the Ravens and the Bengals, where basically the Ravens held on. Obviously the big question there, should the Bengals have gone for it? Should they not have? But overall, the Bengals are still a good team, but I just have my questions about Joe Burrow and company as the rest of the season goes along here. Then obviously, yes, the Giants and the Panthers here. I think that was the game. Was it in Germany or wherever? It doesn't matter. But overall, Bryce Young, we covered it, that maybe he's potentially reviving his career here. Daniel Jones and company, they might potentially be in trouble. I don't know. And it's going to be something we're watching out through the rest of the season. I know that I think it was Tyrone Tracy that had that fumble there late. But, that's tough. But at the same time, this is the NFL. You got to be able to make those plays. And potentially, does that even still put the Giants back in the number one slot there in 2025? Maybe. So maybe that's why fans aren't that heartbroken about it. Patriots taking that down the Bears, where... Yikes. Yes, the Patriots aren't necessarily a good team, but the Bears, everybody had the Bears, making the playoffs this year. And over these last couple of weeks, I just don't know. I feel like, Caleb Williams and company, it hasn't been good for him. And so I think it's tough. And I think that the Bears have some calibrating to do here in terms of their quarterback position. And maybe we'll see something different here. Not necessarily something different, but I think we'll see that maybe they do something different with Caleb Williams and maybe help him out a little bit more. And then also the 49ers taking down the Buccaneers, where Debo, other than punching his long snapper and his kicker, the 49ers get it done. Christian McCaffrey doesn't look good right now. Hopefully he gets a little bit healthier as the season wears on. But, definitely going to be something we're keeping an eye on. The Chiefs and the Broncos, the Chiefs did everything they could, or at least the refs did, to help the Chiefs win. I kid, of course. But, the Broncos are proving that they can hang with contenders, and I think that's big, especially with Bo Nix and company. But, if you're the Chiefs, you're winning, but at what costs? That's really what it comes down to. The Bills taking down the Colts. I don't think it's that impressive, but at the same time, this is the NFL. Josh Allen continues to prove that he at least deserves to be in that MVP conversation, if you ask me. The Steelers taking down the Commanders. This is really more of the Commanders failing to take care of business and wishing that Zach Ertz got that yard at the end there. And, Terry McLaurin had himself a big day, as well as Jane Daniels did his thing. Austin Eckler had a couple of touchdowns. But, really, it came down to the Steelers running for over 140 yards. Russell Wilson had 3 touchdowns and only an interception, so he looked pretty good at building up that run game. And the Commanders, they got to build off of this. That's really what it comes down to. The Vikings kind of winning against the Jaguars, if you will. And so, at the end of the day, yes, a win is a win. But again, this is just like the Broncos-Chiefs game. At what cost? 4 field goals to have to take down the Jaguars. Offensive looked just completely inert under Sam Darnold. 3 interceptions and just not getting it done in any facet offensively. The pieces around it looked pretty good. They ran for over 100 yards or whatever it was. The run game looked good, but you couldn't punch it in. And you had multiple drives inside the Jaguars territory and couldn't capitalize. Yeah, that looks really good. Not. The Saints taking down the Falcons. This one was pretty funny. I was happy for the Saints and everything, and the Falcons at least keeping things interesting here in the NFC South. But Kirk Cousins and company, they got some things to figure out as they go throughout the rest of the season here. Titans and the Chargers. The Chargers are contenders. I have said that from the very beginning. And the Titans, the Vikings are going to go play the Titans now. I don't necessarily think that they can mess around. They got to take care of business. But, Will Levis and Calvin Ridley, kind of connecting. They might have a little something there. We'll have to see. The Jets getting completely boat raced by the Cardinals is hilarious. I think the biggest crime is the fact that Aaron Rodgers had Jets fans thinking that they had a chance this year. That's the biggest crime, if you ask me. But the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr., they you can't sleep on the Cardinals. The Cardinals, low-key, might be I don't know about a playoff contender, but they're at least turning some heads. So people laughed at me for saying that. Then the Eagles and Cowboys, where the Cowboys are done. There is no energy in that building. There is no rhyme or reason for this team to continue playing for a playoff dream or a playoff hope at this point. It's just, there was no will to win, and it showed in the Mike Zimmer defense allowing 34 points, but also offensively, just Cooper Rush. He's not your savior. I hate to say it. The Lions, despite the fact that, 5 interceptions from Jared Goff, they took down the Texans. I think if you are CJ Stroud and the Texans, you are more panicking about there, but Ken, the Lions, they look good right now. That's what I'll say, is they look really good, and I think that this is going to come down to, can the Lions continue to run the football and, keep Jared Goff from being his worst enemy? Because, he does play pretty well, but at the same time, it's really built on this run game. And then finally, yes, the Dolphins and Rams play tonight. It is what it is there. I've probably got the Rams in this one, if I'm being perfectly honest, but, so far, interesting. It's shaping up to be an interesting NFL Week 10, but, we'll bring you the more as the Dolphins take on the Rams too. But overall, let us know what you guys think. What were your guys' impressions of the NFL Week 10? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.